Guys, are you ready for this one? Let's talk about it. I'm not coming back. I don't know how to tell my wife to move on. A broad-based Nigerian man opens up. The story is long. Let me read it to you guys. Now, this one was found on Twitter, and we thought we were going to discuss this. A lot of men who travel out of the country in search of greener pastures are not returning to Nigeria. I feel pity for their wives who keep waiting endlessly, thinking that the money is being sent by husband for her upkeep and that of the children still signifies commitments to their marriages. This guy of mine, he had a story, has told me that he can never return to Nigeria. He said he doesn't know how to tell his wife to move on with her life, but he would still keep sending monies for her and the children. He said he's aware he won't return, but in future he would make way for his children to meet up with him over there. Funnily, he said that if his wife got married and wants to come abroad with his children, he can create a way for her and her new husband, but not now, like maybe 10 or 15 years later. He goes on.
Wow.
Women should be aware that some of these men who travel out of Nigeria are still always being helped there by some other woman, citizen, of course, in those countries. They should try to have genuine discussions with their husbands so that they do not wait in regret or wait into regret, as the person puts it. As for my guy, whom I have also advised for him to help him tell his wife to move on, never. I won't be in the bad radar of no one. He must look for a way to communicate himself. This is a real event. This actually happens. People go outside the country, get married there, you have a wife here, but you get married because you want a green card to stay there. You finally get so comfortable, you're like, this life, is it now? How do I tell this lady back home that I'm not coming back home? That's the problem. I know of people who are going through this right now. These are personal instances I'm talking about. There are people who are there who have said, I'm just sending these monies because she is the mother of my kids. But the truth is, if she wants to move on with another person, make sure they go. Personally, I'm okay with this white woman here. I don't know, man. I don't know. You look like you're thinking hard, man. Femi.
It's wickedness now.
Is it?
It's pure wickedness, yeah. You don't string people along now. Be upfront. Like, okay, you know they walk again, you know they walk. And I don't even understand how... I don't know. I can never understand how people do it. Be honest and just tell her if the wife gonna say might have moved on.
True. I mean, how do you stay in a relationship without coitus for over 6 months and you expect that?
It's a really tough, it's a very tough one for the woman.
For the woman?
Yeah, for the woman.
Ah.
For the guy on the other side, I mean, the syndrome, Japa syndrome is all over the place at the moment. And, for you to just leave someone hanging in Nigeria or wherever.
Right.
But I like to think that there were discussions before the person left. See, I'm going out, so I'm going to have to get married to get the green card.
Most people don't communicate.
Man,
Most people don't communicate. They don't.
I completely agree with you. There is something missing. There is something he's hiding. He's been hiding for a very long time.
Yeah.
Only for him to just get to a grain grass for it, and just feel like, okay, it's time for me to just move on with my life. And the only thing I'll be responsible for is just the upkeep.
But Tayo, get this. The instances that I am aware of now, this guy and his wife actually had that conversation. They said, okay, when I go, I'll have to get married. And she's like, okay, fine. Go and get married, but don't forget me. So she actually acquiesced. She agreed. She said, okay, fine. She endorsed it. Get married if you want to, but just don't forget us. So in giving your husband that, what's it called, permission to go and get married, if I get married, what follows marriage? There's got to be coitus and sexual relations now.
I think she's aware of that, though.
So if that now happens and the guy now overlikes it and now tells you that, hey.
But man, when people sacrifice for you in life, you have to pay them back, though. I can never understand how people turn on people like that. Like, that's deep.
Again, if you have an agreement, if you have an agreement with your husband and it goes away, with another woman, as the case may be, then I think you should be ready to bear whatever comes along with it.
Are you talking about the woman now?
Yeah, you should be able to bear.
Gang, do you agree?
So.
Why do you have dark shades on?
My eyes have been drinking. Let's see if they can't tell.
I'm on neutralizing the bullet straight.
Here's the thing. Like, I've been in a similar situation, but mine is different because I didn't leave the country. My family was in the capital city. I was in other towns working, hustling as the man, trying to provide. So, but when international lines are drawn, it's a different situation. Now, the thing is that the level of hustle, this is a guy that's hustling. He's not genuinely out there. He's trying to hustle to get a green card settle, make foreign currency, and be able to provide for his family. So that level of hustle is there. If you're all jackpying, like, for example, one of the reasons why I would say I haven't even bothered jack buying because I had considered the situation whereby somebody goes first and the next person goes along. And we sat down as a family and said, no, we either all go
Why
or
did
we
you,
all stay.
why exactly?
Because we've spent time apart and we've seen how it affects the union.
How did it affect your union?
Well, it's crazy
Which
because
hand got stronger?
here's the thing. When my kids were newborn at the time.
Nice.
No, I'm going to get Zeno back, but my kids were newborn at the time.
Okay.
And then somebody once said, oh, don't let your kids start calling you uncle. Yeah. They need to see you a whole lot more. So I used to travel every month or every other weekend, so like twice a month or once a month. But for somebody like myself that has the fear of flying, I didn't like that back and forth.
Yeah.
Then the cost implication was there as well, spending all this money doing back and forth. But thank God now we're settled and we've been together for years now, all in one place. So in this kind of situation, if the wife endorses, go and hustle and be sending things to me, that's a different scenario. She's basically accepted that this guy is going to do all sorts of
What
stuff.
it need, what
Yeah, but
needs
you
to be
guys,
done.
let's not forget that could have been an economic decision. Like, she might not really have wanted that. It might just have been, okay,
No,
you know
why
what?
do people jack buy? It's all economics.
No, so there are times that
Largely.
people say, there are times that people say things like, okay, you know what? Right now, there's no going back, there's no going forward. This is our only option. You know what? You go. If the situations were different, she probably might have not made that decision now. So how do you now turn on? Like, it's terrible. How do you turn on people like that?
Like I like one of the comments that was on the page
Yeah.
on Twitter, and the person said the same thing you said. That's wickedness.
It is.
It's very
It's
ill
wickedness.
thought of the guy to actually
It's
decide
wickedness.
that this is what he's going to do. And he's even putting that situation that even if she remarries 10,
Like,
15
so
years from
that
now,
guy has
15
moved
years,
on,
exactly.
bro.
that guy has moved on. But the fact that he doesn't have the courage
To tell her.
to tell her, because clearly there are children involved.
It's wrong, no, that's wrong.
That's the sad part of the story.
That's where it becomes a bit tricky. If you cannot communicate that with your wife at home, then it's something very, very stupid you're doing.
Personally, I don't
Oh,
know.
well, how do you communicate such a thing? What do you expect her to do? What,
You have those-
No,
well,
let's put ourselves in her cocoa shoes now. What do you expect her to do after she's been told that I've moved on, but I can still keep sending you money?
She'll move on as well, though.
She move on as well. get
Yeah,
another
there's no
husband.
point holding a candle for someone that is not coming back
Absolutely.
now.
I agree with you.
There's no point. Why are you holding a candle for someone
It's
that's
just
not
going
coming
to be
back?
waiting for Godot.
I mean, like, for the rest of our life, every day she's probably thinking, oh, my husband. No, you don't have a husband
Okay,
anymore. Your
this is
husband has moved
Nigeria,
on.
where people get polygamous. Could he have two wives and still maintain one
Yeah,
abroad, one here?
that guy from that statement is obviously, he doesn't want to have anything to do with that again. He has seen better.
Better, wow.
And I actually feel that we use the word polygamous or polygamy as an excuse to misbehave.
Welcome to the show. Please tell us.
You know, you go outside there and you say, oh, men are polygamous in nature. Who told you that women are not also?
Scientifically proven.
understand?
Bro, we're not going to have this conversation.
No. I want him to go there.
Because
He's the
it's
new
science,
guy.
because it's science.
We've had it
It's
plenty
proven.
times before.
I know we always have this. Oh, yeah, it has to be this. But, hey, women.
How
are
is she
so
putting up in Nigeria is the question. What's she doing to make sure that
You get-
she's all right?
No, so let's be honest, though. Even, like, I can never understand how families live apart. I can't. Like,
Let me tell you, I once
can't
had a
understand
relationship. I was
it.
living in
I
first
can't
time. This girl was living
understand
in
it.
Solo. It was a long distance
he
relationship.
has first start to solo.
It was a long distance.
So
I could
imagine,
not,
I
as in-
don't know how people do it. Like, okay, oh, my husband, I've not seen him for 2 years. I'm like, you don't get husband, no. I mean, 2 years, bro.
Man.
I think I pumping something now.
2 years is a long
It's a
time.
long
That's
time.
How
Long
long would you go without?
No, but I've told you people
Okay,
before
yeah,
now.
sorry,
I
sorry,
know
I'm sorry,
they-
sir.
I
Sorry.
don't know how people
So,
do it.
gang,
Like,
you would go for
No,
How
let's
would
see. I've told you people that my relationship is not based,
Based
on
on
sex.
sex.
my relationship is based on sex, you.
Let's go to the
Ah,
church
there's no
point.
need.
Let's go to
Because
church.
There's
God
no need.
forbid
It's
one
okay,
day,
gang,
Femi,
gang,
God
gang.
forbid one day something happens to you and you can't get it up.
Come on, what can they do for life again? No, so I always say this thing. Like, I don't know why you people say, like, what is the use
You
of your
didn't
money?
come here because of
no,
sex,
No, bro, what's the
guy.
use of your money? That's the ultimate pleasure. What's the use of money? Okay, I fly you to what? Paris with Kim Kardashian, but you can't touch.
And the other people in the party.
Let's ask new guy
No,
here.
okay.
How long would you
So-
go without coitus?
Well, it depends on the situation, actually. For me, if I have to go for a month without that, why not? Without sex, why not?
After a month.
Just 1 month. Okay.
I mean,
give us a
if-
time limit.
I mean, depending on the situation, if I have to leave my house, for something else
Okay.
for a whole year,
You haven't traveled.
not?
You're living with your wife. You haven't traveled. You're living with your wife. You guys might have had a fight or a misunderstanding. 1 month goes.
How long
you
ago
haven't
you
had
step
any
out?
intimacy, and then the second month is approaching. Can you last 2 months without intimacy?
I think so.
So let's keep going. 3 months.
Yeah, I think so.
3
can't.
months.
I think so. Yeah.
I can't.
3 months.
It's part of the agreement you have with your partner.
We didn't have that agreement.
If things,
bro,
No, but
if things are not, if things are not,
Here's
well,
the catch. Now, with that agreement said now, you want it.
oh yeah,
But she's not giving it to you.
okay.
How
months, bro.
How long would you stay
60 days.
applying and not getting the job?
We will have a discussion on that.
Discussion.
And then after you
fire.
discuss, she
have a
still doesn't
discussion
give
on
it to
that.
you.
I know people.
So-
I know people who got married to very beautiful other people, and eventually discovered that my wife does not like sex.
That's why I always say sample with you they buy.
Haba.
Like, because you don't want to find out that you are married to someone that doesn't like sex. After
Is there even
you
such a
express it.
thing, sir, that somebody doesn't
There,
like
there
sex?
actually there are people like
I
that.
don't think.
Is there a man like that? I know
no.
maybe women, but
No,
is there
no,
a
so I
man
don't
that doesn't
think
like
so.
sex?
No, so there are actually people like that. I realize that we like things to different degrees, yeah?
Yeah.
But if you are going match energies, like you can't be jim, you know, my bing, bing, bro, you know the last time.